On the south end, there was a neighborhood where the black community stopped, right at a major intersection, and the white community began just across the street. It was as if a stoplight was a warning to both sides that they should proceed no further than this. I loved going there to speak. There was a coffee and bagel shop right on the corner of the aforementioned white side, and I'd go in there, order a large cup of coffee, a sesame seed bagel with onions and cream cheese. I'd sit right at the third of four tables out front, sip from my large cup, and eat my bagel. They made them on site, and they were quite delicious. And I'd speak to the white people who confronted me about the benefits of knowing their black neighbors. And I'd speak to the black people who came to question my sanity about the delicious products found inside and how money was green. It took a few weeks and some younger people who weren't so hypocritically jaded to start the walls to crumbling. It helped that the high school was along this route. I figured for me, that if there was harmony between the students, the adults would be shamed into communication. So I called my friend at my old business and asked a small favor of a bagel and coffee account that would not be abused. She laughed and said me abusing bagels and coffee would make her feel much better than me abusing liquor and wine. I had to agree with her, and we spoke like the friends we were, the kind of friends who don't ever stop being friends. And I began to tell the high school kids, and any other kids for that matter, to go pick out a bagel and get a cup of coffee or hot chocolate and come talk to me. They did this happily. Many of the students on either side of the color line didn't have anything for breakfast at home. Tough times don't discriminate either. Before long, we were eating and laughing and sitting, listening to music, and they were teaching me and I was sharing with them. And then their parents started coming around to make sure my child is safe, as they had stated. But just to see what was so interesting as to hold a child's attention for so long. Rather than lecture them, I would ask them to buy a round of bagels for the children, and I'd ask them to share some adventures from their younger memories, not from their childhood. They had come to the understanding that these young men and women they had given birth to were no longer children. Not when they'd grown up with unconscious racism being programmed into them. They were young men and women, and life was an adventure to them, and that their parents should be able to relate to. The parents found out that they could. They shared their adventures from high school, and we ate bagels and made the shop a lot of money, especially when my old corporation began buying their bagels exclusively for their South End operations. And finally, on any given morning, you could find black and white parents shopping at the bagel store and the other stores in the little strip plaza. And that light that used to seem to be a warning of culture clash was reprogrammed into a yellow flashing light, as it really wasn't all that busy at an intersection once people stopped trying to get away from each other. I never really thought much of it. It just seemed silly. I guess that people in the 21st century would see such a void between themselves on the basis of skin color. I mean, there are all sorts of ideologies to create schisms between people, things far more interesting, though very few valid ones. But racial divide, it was so 19th century.